All right, attempt number 3. If anybody is on, tell us if it's sideways.
Yay, Rachel says yes.
Yes. I've lost my partner.
Okay, we're gonna start again because obviously I totally screwed this up. So you can chalk me up to being the biggest loser today on this Whiskey Wednesday. So how's that? I'm gonna go ahead and do this cocktail one more time so that maybe you guys can see it made for the first time. I'm gonna start with this tasting glass at 8 ounce that we do all the time in the distillery. If I was gonna use the mason jar, I would do the 1.5 ounce pour. So for this one, I'm going to do the maple whiskey. We're going to try this again. 1 ounce of the maple whiskey in the little 8 ounce tasting jar. And then I'm going to use that Manhattan Master of Mixers. These that we've been finding in all different kinds of flavors. Kat and I have been going up in Northern Virginia, finding some really good ones. They have some good ones at Food Line and that. And this is also very orderable through Walmart. Walmart's 2 days, just like Amazon, and it's the right price. There's no upcharge with Walmart to get it in 2 days like they do with Amazon, where the prices go like 2 to 3 times the amount. But with Walmart, it's super cheap and they get it to you in 2 days. I've done the 1 ounce of maple whiskey. I've added the Manhattan mixer, just some Sprite just to kind of give it a little bit of carbonation. And I'm gonna add the orange just because I like the way the orange tastes with this. Like this one.
This is your favorite.
I like the maple. I'm just really liking mixing that maple. The maple goes with mango, peach. You can do it with Tom Collins. You can do it with margarita mix. You can do it with whiskey sour mix, juices, lemonade, any of that stuff. I just think that maple balances super well. So,
and I think this Manhattan mix has just a little bit of a cola flavor, but like a super light cola.
That's a good way of describing it. Like almost like you put a splash of Coke in it. Or have you guys ever had Coke when it has been kind of watered down? You have that little bit of taste to it, and that's got that thing. That was one of the ones that I would suggest with that. So I'm going to step off because Kat actually did this one today. She has worked on this all day long to have this cocktail today. But before I switch this over, I just want to say one thing with this. This is our anniversary, our 4th anniversary. If you guys have seen on Facebook today, please go take a look at the post. We are so excited. If you guys see this nice little empty shelf right here, this is going to be nice and filled with our brand new straight bourbon tomorrow. We've been open for 4 years. We started barreling probably going into our 2nd year, but the first one we did is actually the straight bourbon. It was barrels 1 and 2. We actually unloaded those today. Mason has proofed them. They are ready to bottle tomorrow. So our very first straight bourbon, which is required to have an aging requirement of 2 years, will actually be ready to go tomorrow and will be available for sale Friday. And we'll be mixing with that over the weekend for our celebration, as we'll talk about that. But I'm going to turn this over to Kat because she's going to do I'm
going to get some ice.
A peach whiskey cocktail. So we're super excited about that.
So yesterday, Kelly and I were chatting, and she's like, you know what? I have not featured the peach in such a long time. So I wake up at 5:30. What am I going to do? Start
planning cocktails. Which is what we all do at 5:30 in the morning.
So I thought it would be fun to take a flavored tea, and that's what the picture that I showed this morning. We tried 5 flavored teas.
She cleared out my tea shelf in the house and tried different ones and was delighted and told me which ones were not very good. So
these 3 not so good.
Yep.
These 3 are on the thing. So the one we settled on was a ginger peach herbal tea. I think this was
Bigelow
a Bigelow brand, but I'm sure any Lipton has whatever herbal mix.
Yeah, we actually saw it with turmeric, which is really healthy, especially going into the winter months and that. That was one that we thought went with it. And I would probably also drink this hot. I mean, I'm a big hot tea drinker from about 50 degrees and less through the winter, probably starting in about November through March. I really like a good cup of hot tea. And for those of you that do drink hot tea and add one of our whiskeys, please tell us what combinations you like, what you think mixes. Obviously, we do mint, and the honey is always good. The maple is going to be my go-to this year because I haven't tried that yet, but I think I would do that with the spiced tea. But
Yeah.
Kat thought that this peach would be good, and we thought the peach and the ginger just sounded super yummy together. So
It was good in the chai apple tea.
yeah.
Was not terrible in the cinnamon stick.
No, you liked the cinnamon
I
stick
did
more
like
than
the
I did.
cinnamon.
Yeah.
Was not good in that ginger lemon.
She didn't like the ginger lemon, which was
not my
heavy in the
favorite.
ginger. It wasn't her favorite.
No.
But I thought that this ginger peach with the hint of the peach in
Yeah.
the tea and then adding the peach whiskey was really good.
So we played, if you watched Whiskey Wednesday last week and Kelly did good, better, best, that's
kind of where we were today.
where we were today.
Yeah.
Kelly's upstairs getting ready. I made a good cocktail. I added a little simple syrup and made it better, but then Kelly came down and made it the best.
I don't know
So
about that.
that's just the way it goes. So I'm starting with 1 ounce of the peach whiskey.
And again, if Kathy were at home, she'd be a good 2-ouncer in the 8-ounce jar. But she is
Absolutely.
an advocate of putting much
Absolutely.
more whiskey in than what I do. Which, let me just go back to the fact
good.
that 4 years ago, Kathy didn't drink whiskey.
No.
She wasn't crazy about the
Nope.
whiskey, but she has definitely converted. We've gatewayed her right
Yep.
into
Absolutely.
drinking the whiskey and that stuff.
You're
So
a
she's
bad
got
influence.
1 ounce of the peach whiskey in here. This is one. Also with this, you could do the brown sugar cinnamon, you could do the maple,
Absolutely.
the honey,
The
the brown, the mint, the orange. Like
Yep.
this is like one of those drinks that I think you could universally change it up. So
And then I just took the tea bag and I did, I'm going to say 4 ounces of hot water. Little bit stronger of a brew, but it's an herbal tea, so it's not overpowering,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
But if you want it less strong, add more hot water to your tea bag. So I'm going to put in probably up to almost the top in this little 8-ounce jar. Just because we're going to show you how Kelly made it best. So I've added that much tea
it was good just like this.
to this.
It was really good just like this. If you're a tea or a sweet tea drinker at home, there is nothing wrong with adding a good shot of whiskey to it. It's how Mason likes it. He really likes a sweet tea with a shot of mint in it. But we wanted to just kind of do a kind of like a really fun sweet tea almost flavor to this.
Yeah.
And so we decided to just kind of add to the peach.
Yeah.
We took the peach preserves like you guys have seen me do so many times. We take 1 jar of the peach preserves, add 50% boiling water to it just to break down that pectin and turn it into almost like a really natural, simple syrup. But it adds some really great sweeteners to it. Really inexpensive to do this with your jams and your preserves.
So depending on how sweet you want your tea, you can put a spoonful in, you could put half an ounce in, 1 ounce. I tried it with a couple spoonfuls. I didn't think it was sweet enough for the people who generally have cocktails here. I tried it with 1 ounce. Kelly thought it was too sweet.
I thought it was a little sweet.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big sugar drinker.
So I'm just going to try and put about half ounce of this in here and see how it goes. And we liked it with the lemon.
The other thing I was thinking about doing this with the sweet tea is, you know how you guys, when you make sweet tea or when you do your, when you make your hot tea and you put your tea bags in with the boiling water in it, what I would probably think about doing with that is taking 1 jar of your preserves, adding it to when you add the boiling water. It's going to break down that pectin. It's going to be a natural sweetener while it's brewing, while it's steeping in that, or soon after when you take the tea bags out while it's still really hot. It's going to break down that preserves, and you're actually going to be doing it just as if you were going to add sugar like to a simple syrup. If you were going to make sweet tea, you're going to do a really fun kind of flavored sweetener by adding the preserves or the jams to it. I think that would probably be, if I was going to make this in bulk, a picture of that. That might be what I would try to do tomorrow with that. Okay.
So we're going to try it.
Go ahead. This is Kat's version of a peach spice tea. Like it?
I do. I do think it could be a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, so difference. I like a light tea, so I would definitely make it a lighter tea in the beginning, and that you can definitely taste the spice to it, but I kind of like that spice taste with it. James, you want to try this?
I would say probably a little more of the peach simple syrup.
Yeah, just a little bit more
Yeah.
sweetness in that, especially if you guys are sweet tea drinkers. That would be super easy to do that.
I think it's sweet enough.
You think it's sweet enough?
Yeah, to me that's sweet enough.
That's good. So
good
any
fall
of your
taste.
sweet teas, just, you know, add a jar of that preserves to it, some whiskey to it if you want, but it actually will get that nice little sweetness with it. So we're going to do kind of a iced tea, especially because the weather's going to be super nice, right in the 60s still this weekend. So not quite hot ones. We will have our warm mulled cider this weekend for our celebration, because that's just a favorite. You can walk around, listen to the music that we're going to have all weekend long, but that'll be a good little warm alternative. So we did the Maple Manhattan, which I really like. We did the peach spice tea, so another kind of cool cocktail with the ice in that, but you could also make that hot super easy. And I was really pleasantly surprised with adding that peach, which would be a little bit more of a summer cocktail, but I would do it to the hot tea definitely for that one. This one was actually one I was super excited because we tried it with we tried this with the honey whiskey. What else did we do? I would easily do this one with the 1842. I think that this would have such a great old-fashioned taste to it. But we decided to kind of stick with that fall flavor in that, and we changed this up and we added the brown sugar cinnamon. As you guys know, this brown sugar cinnamon, huge fall favorite. If you want to add just a fall spice flavor to it, natural kind of cinnamon and brown sugar taste, definitely not one of the big name brand cinnamon whiskeys to it. This one actually tastes like a brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart. It's gonna have those layers of actual spice, like you're literally have some fresh ground cinnamon or cinnamon toast. I had somebody tell me that this tasted just like cinnamon toast to them.
Yep.
With the sugar in that, but I really like that brown sugar sweetness behind it. So we decided to do this cocktail kind of as almost like a cherry cobbler type thing. We took 1 ounce of the brown sugar cinnamon whiskey to it, and then you guys, these purees, these real purees that I say I get through Webstront and that, this is definitely one that you could do with cherry preserves. You don't have to get this you know, at $10 to $14 on Amazon. I'm able to get it through Webstront, so it's really inexpensive for us to do that, and it just makes it easy in the tasting room. But you could easily do a cherry preserve, just like we did for the peach preserve. You could do that with a cherry preserve with that. I'm doing this with this got that brown sugar cinnamon, couple swirls of the dark cherry puree to that. Walmart and Food Lion both sell these really great dark cherries. If you don't, you can add a maraschino cherry to it. But I really like kind of the less sweet taste of the dark cherry to it. So that's going to be just my little garnish, but we're going to put that in now. And then I'm going to add just regular ginger ale to this. You could totally make this as a mule. This would be a fabulous mule if you guys wanted to kick that up. And we'll make sure we have some of the ginger beer on hand here. But I just really like this. This kind of just took on a really good fall texture to it. And I think if you guys wanted to, you could add an orange to this if you wanted to kind of keep that fall spice to it. This one might be my favorite this week.
Really?
I really
What did we
like this
try
one.
first with this besides the brown
I
sugar?
think it was the 90 honey we did with this one.
It was.
And that's going to have a little bit more whiskey flavor to it. But this one to me just screams fall flavor to it.
Really good.
I really like that brown sugar cinnamon in that. But again, now that we finally got the camera right, James is going to come
Guest
up
appearance.
I'm so sorry about that. We got a new stand so you guys could see better, and I totally dropped the ball on this one. So apologize for that. Hope you guys are still sticking with us and watching that. What do you think about that one?
Very good.
Yeah, that's the brown sugar cinnamon with the cherries, and that kind of reminds me of like cherry pie or cherry cobbler with that little bit of cinnamon to it and that.
That one's good.
Isn't that yummy? It's got that nice little spice flavor to it and that. So the next one we're going to do, this is one we've done a couple of times with the mango. I still have quite a bit of mango. I just really like that mango flavor with our corn whiskey. I think it has a nice, it just kind of blends well with our whiskey and that. And Kat decided to do this one with the mint. I wasn't sure I was going to love this. It actually has a really cool flavor to it. We tested this one out a little bit. This one, if you want to have a little bit more whiskey flavor, you could do this with the 1842. You could easily do this with our straight bourbon. The corn whiskey is really good. And the orange I would do with this to keep it less sweet. So that's one. But this mint actually gives it a kind of a really refreshing, kind of bold taste to it. If you guys haven't tried the mint whiskey, this is one where so many people come in the tasting room and they're like, I don't do mint. And I'm like, let me mix this in a cocktail for you, because I really think that mint just kind of makes everything super refreshing. It just kind of puts everything kind of over the top. Makes a really, really good mule. I would do the mint with this with just ginger beer, but then you can add any of your flavors to that. The mint is great. As you guys have known, I do this with the mimosas all the time. I do it with an orange pineapple juice and Sprite. You can do this with ginger ale, which would give it a nice fall kind of twist to it. But this with the mango, I actually really like it. Kat's like, she wasn't sure I really liked this one, but the more I taste it, I actually kind of like that little flavor that comes in it. This is the Master of Mixes one. They sell this at Food Lion. Can't remember if they do this at Walmart, but I do know they sell this at Food Lion. I did not clear the shelves because I had plenty of it. But this also comes in, what is that? Where's one of those, like, no, this is the one of these.
Oh, your squirty thing.
This actually comes also like this. If you guys just want a little bit less space in your refrigerator, I will tell you, Food Lion sells this in the mango, the peach, the grenadine, and the strawberry. These are best. This is like last week when I was talking about making it best. This is what you want to do to make it best. You're going to add a little bit of these, keep them in the fridge. They last for several weeks in that. This is a really small one. But if you're going to use this more often, I would definitely, this is a little bit more liquid. This mixes so much better doing it that. And with the mint and that mango, because they're both pretty strong flavors, we decided to add a strong flavor of ginger beer, and we did this with the Canada Dry Bold. If you guys haven't tried this, it's a great substitute for your Gosling's ginger beer. It doesn't have quite the bite as like a Fever Tree or a Gosling's or Cock and Bull or that stuff with your ginger beers, but it is just enough of a bite in the back that you're going to get that kind of ginger beer flavor to it. Especially if you're not a huge ginger beer fan, this is one that'll kind of ease you into it because it's not overpowering in that. I think it's got a nice little flavor to it. I don't know if we were garnishing with this. Were we going to? A little lime, I think we were going to put in that, so it kind of keeps
looking pretty.
Kind of make it a little pretty, little seasonal. Nice piece of mint would be great in here if it was that time of year, but can't find mint anywhere. I think you nailed it with the mint. This is actually pretty good. I was not going to do the mint with this one.
You were not going to do the mint with this one.
I kind of drug my heels on this one. And Kat, it's just got a very refreshing, if you guys want a bold, refreshing taste to it, this is it.
Of the mints, because I think in their mind, they have like
it's like a thin mint cookie
or something. But
it's not toothpaste.
No. It brightens everything up.
Yeah, I think lemonade, sweet tea,
absolutely.
iced tea, hot chocolate,
Absolutely.
coffee. Jim Newboard says it's perfect in our warm mulled cider. Never in a million years. When he said that, I thought, oh God, we cannot do this. We tried it, and I had to kind of eat my words with that because it was actually super, super good.
That's really good.
But
this
the mint goes super, super. This is your mint favorite?
That might be.
Okay. Might become mine.
No.
As much as I'm not quite sure of that. That is good. So this weekend, we've talked about it. We've got some really great activities going on here in the distillery. If you are in the area, please, whatever you do, come and see us. Tomorrow, we're hoping to get all of our new Springfield straight bourbon bottled. So watch it because you'll be able to see all of the great things with it. It is going to be a limited run. It is hopefully going to sell out very quickly. We're super excited. A lot of people are coming this weekend. We have activities all weekend long. We have music and food trucks both Saturday and Sunday. You'll see we'll actually list the straight bourbon on Friday, so you'll be able to do a pre-order if you want. You can come by and do a purchase if you'd like with it. But it will definitely, watch us on Facebook, you'll see exactly how you can get your hands on a bottle of the straight bourbon. So you'll get to see it, and I'll post lots of pictures of where we're going to fill this little shelf. We're so excited. We've been doing this endeavor for 4 years now. It's incredible to think. We opened it on Veterans Day because we got our approval at the end of October. Veterans Day is incredibly important to us. If you guys have watched our our Facebook. Kat and I actually met while we were stationed overseas in Seoul, Korea. My dad was stationed there. He did a total of 32 years. James has served for foreign militaries for 11 years. My brother has served several years. So we have about 50 years worth of military experience in our family. So it's near and dear to our hearts. I give a huge shout out to my mom, who was my dad's best supporter through all of that, and was always there at home for us while my dad had to deploy and do all of those things that the military has to do. If you're familiar with that, my mom was a huge trooper in doing that and supporting the family with that. So huge shout out to you today, Mom, for that. But we have a lot of pride in that. It's why we opened on Veterans Day. We do a lot to try to support the veterans, and that this is my Grunt Style t-shirt, which is a veteran-owned company. Whiskey Helps. I'm sorry, Jim Newborn, it's backwards, but I totally screwed up the camera today, so just bear with me. Look backwards if you can, or put it in a mirror. The other thing is we do a lot with VIR with Racing for Heroes. We have partnered with Racing for Heroes to do our hand sanitizer locally, and with Colin Garrett, who has actually done quite a bit with Racing for Heroes. He did delivered hand sanitizers, went all over the state of Virginia to help deliver it into North Carolina for us. And he's actually doing a new endeavor called 1111 with Racing for Heroes. So please look out for that. We will be posting that on our Facebook and details for that. And we are really hoping that as a fundraising effort that we can collaborate with them with what we hope to be a white label 1111 whiskey, which would obviously just kind of come full circle for us. Opening on 1111, being able to help support the 1111 project through Racing for Heroes, and all that community, all of our community that does to support veterans and veterans with PTSD and all of that. That Racing for Heroes is just such an incredible organization to back. We hope you guys will look them up. We will be posting a lot in regards to that on our Facebook as a collaborative efforts with them and that, and we hope that you guys will follow us. So this weekend we'll be here doing our straight bourbon, doing tastings. We'll have a lot going on here. You guys can come try the straight bourbon.
New merchandise.
We'll have all kinds of hoodies and sweatshirts and long sleeve shirts that are going to be coming in. So
maybe some
hats, just some fun stuff. And of course we're doing what we can to support local Virginia finest products with our chips and salsa and pimento cheese and that. But also the food trucks this weekend are Full Circle Pizza with the Worleys on Saturday.
Finally.
And then on Sunday, Cooper's Landing is coming back to do the food truck for that. And some of our favorites is Turkey Scratch. They'll be playing on Sunday. So music Saturday and Sunday with our food trucks. Obviously, cocktails will be knocking it out of the park. You guys can be trying the straight bourbon with ginger ale or with Coke or however you guys want us to mix it up, an old fashioned or that. We'll try and do what we can to accommodate that. But just know Mason will be on the porch offering sips of that so you guys can try it. And we'll send the link on that so you can do. So just a real quick recap, because I've gone really long-winded on this and screwed up the camera and that. So I hope you guys are still with us. Appreciate those that are still watching. But the first one we did was with my maple whiskey. It is, if you guys haven't tried it, gosh, come in and try that maple whiskey. If you're a sipper, I can't even tell you how many bourbon and whiskey drinkers have come in and tried the maple and left with a bottle of it. It is fabulous, if I do say so myself. And that was with the maple. It's with a little bit of Manhattan mix, but you can substitute that Manhattan mix with whiskey sour, Tom Collins, anything that you'd like to try, margarita in that.
For sure.
That was good with the Sprite. We'll post that recipe later tomorrow. The second one we did was the peach tea, Kat's creation that she did at 5:30 this morning. She did it with a nice spiced tea. Interchange that however you want with that.
Your flavors
peach whiskey, super good with that. But you can do that with pretty much any of our whiskeys, honestly, with that. And that was really good. I liked that. And we're gonna play with how we're gonna add those peach preserves into that a little bit. And then the next one was done with the brown sugar cinnamon. It was done with a dark cherry puree. You could easily do that with your favorite cherry preserves with that. And then we added ginger ale to that. I thought it was just a really nice fall cherry cobbler, making me think of Thanksgiving Day with a cherry pie. Really good with that one. So not super sweet, even though it sounds sweet. I promise it's not super sweet with that one. It's got a nice spice flavor to it. And then the last one was that Mango Madness kind of thing that we do with the mint. Mint
so
Mango
good.
Madness, I think just really blended really well. Really shocked on that mint with that. I got to tell you, she really surprised me with that one. With the mint whiskey, mango puree, and bold ginger ale. Again, you could kick that up a little bit and add your Gosling's ginger beer, your favorite ginger beer with that, and I think it would be fabulous. So the other two cocktails we're going to do is definitely our mulled cider over the weekend. Probably going to add the orange because that's my very first favorite into that mulled cider, so we can kind of change with that. And then we will definitely be doing tastes of our straight bourbon and adding that with Coke or ginger ale, your kind of thing, or neat on the rocks, however you guys want to do it, however you guys want to do your straight bourbon. We're super excited about that. So hope you guys will stick with us and see us this weekend. We really appreciate your support. Be sure today to thank your veteran that's close to you for their service and the families that support them. And we hope to see you guys this weekend. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.